Let's taste some wine. So we're gonna do a little quick one because it's just before dinner, and I'm feeling like the weather's gonna change a little bit. I'm hoping that the weather's gonna change a little bit. It was a little cold, not really rainy today, but I'm thinking this week it's gonna warm up. And in anticipation of that, tonight with our ham and mashed potatoes and Brussels sprout leftovers from Easter, which, you know, we got, actually our ham arrived a couple days late and took a couple more days to defrost. So we're actually eating it way after Easter than we should. In anticipation of that, I'm actually going to pour a little rosé for myself. And hopefully, by pouring a little bit of rosé for myself and for Karen and for the kids, we're going to bring spring a little bit more forward and get a little bit of sun down here in Los Angeles. So this is 2018 Montesantoccio Miss Rose, and it's a Rosato. So obviously in France they call it rosé. Here they call it rosé. In Italy they call it rosato, which just means rosy, just like obviously rosé. And this is from Nicola Ferrari and Laura Ardieri, who are from the area in the Veneto, right around the historic town of Verona. It's called Valpolicella, and Nicola started out in the wine business, or actually his big break in the wine business came when he started to work for Giuseppe Quintarelli, who's one of the famous makers of Amarone and Valpolicella Ripasso and Valpolicella, one of the most famous winemakers in the world, actually. And Nicola worked for him and with him for 10 years as his winemaker, and then went off and did his own thing. And he makes fantastic Valpolicella and a Ripasso, and of course an Amarone that is to die for. And in the meantime, last year, 2018, he came out with this, which is the Miss Rose Rosato, and it's a blend of two different grape varieties, two out of the four that are sort of the historic grape varieties of Valpolicella, which I'll never remember them. Maybe I'll remember them. It's Molinari, Rondinella, Corvina, and Corvinone. And so this is actually the two grape varieties, Corvina and Corvinone. And he keeps it on the skins for a very, very short period of time. Don't ask me how long, because actually, I don't care. But maybe 6 hours, maybe 12 hours, 12 hours, 6 hours. But it's in a beautiful salmon color, as you can see. And what's great, well, what's difficult about Italian rosés is usually they're a little bit darker colored, sometimes. And rosé here, consumed in the United States, for some reason, the lighter the color of the rosé is, the more it sells. So the Italians have always been at a competitive disadvantage because they have always had these darker colored rosés on the market, and now they finally realized that a lighter colored rosé will actually sell without having to sacrifice any flavor. And so this wine, made from Corvina and Corvinone, as you can see, is just incredibly light in character. I mean, in color. And what's great about this wine is that it's about as close as you can get in Italy to a Provençal rosé made from indigenous Italian grape varieties, and it is refreshing. The acidity is fantastic, and it has that nice, juicy, easy, low alcohol character that you get from great rosé. It doesn't give you, it's not a rosé that you're going to keep for 10 years, which, I don't know how many of those rosés you actually want to have in the first place. It's It's a rosé that's meant to be consumed within a couple of years after the harvest. This is 2018, and I think it actually, like most rosés, like all rosés, it actually tastes better really beginning in the next year. So the 2018 and 2020 is actually tasting its best. But of course, in the market, we have to take the fresh rosés every year, and then the wine's really not ready to drink, but everyone drinks it anyways because it gets really hot in the summer, and everyone says, oh, I want it fresh and young. But the problem is that really, when rosé really starts to come into as its own, just like Beaujolais Nouveau and all that kind of stuff, is after a year in the bottle. So fresh, bright, little juicy raspberry, obviously no tannins, just easy and fun, and hopefully this wine, which is the Miss Rosé from Montesantoccio 2018, hopefully this means that summer, or actually spring, is really going to sprung, and that summer will be coming, and then we'll be able to go back and, hopefully Major League Soccer is going to get back going, and my team, which is LAFC, which is the best team in MLS, is going to come back, and we're going to have a fantastic season. As always, wishing you a safe and healthy journey, and keep your family close, and I wish you only the best.